So my name is Matthew McClendon. I'm going to ask you all to say your name. But first, I'm the program coordinator at TRIO at University of Louisville. TRIO Student Support Services. But yeah, if you just go around, just give me your name again. Dejanay. Okay, actually, you know what? Your name and school or college you're at, where you're going into.
I'm Dejanay, going to Jefferson County High, and we have
Junior, okay.
Hadia, I go to Tennessee State, and I'm going to be a junior this year.
Okay.
Diana, I'm going to university. I'm going to be a freshman.
Okay.
I'm Bryce. I'm an intern here, so I'm not technically part of the program, but I'm going to be a sophomore at Yale.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm Taya, I go to Valley, and I'm going to be a junior this year.
I'm Fatima, I go to Seneca, I'm going to be a junior next year.
Okay.
I'm Grace. I just graduated, and I'll be going to FIS.
Okay.
I'm Jamia. I'm in Central and going to be a senior.
I'm Chris, I go to J-Town, and I'm going to be a senior this year.
See, okay. So I'm going to try to get out. Is there a clicker by any chance?
I don't think
No
so.
problem. I'll make it work. So once again, my name is Matthew McClendon. I'm from Louisville as well. A little background. But went to St. X High School. Went to the University of Kentucky. My degree was kinesiology, exercise science. So a lot. That's also a med school track. Also, I got my master's at the University of Louisville in 2017. College student personnel. And then, actually, I should try to get in the camera, shouldn't I? College student personnel. And then I'm working on my PhD right now, educational leadership and organizational development. Also, if you have any questions, raise your hand or just butt in. You can ask Angelica. I'm pretty open about my life. I'll answer almost any question you have, as long as it's appropriate as well. So there's different avenues of getting accepted into college and or master's or doctoral programs. My journey's been kind of crazy. St. X, I want to say I graduated. Oh man, my GPA was trash. It was, can I say that? Can I be?
Yeah,
okay.
be open and honest with them.
I wasn't like her. My GPA in high school was like it was like a 2.4, something 2.6. It wasn't that. I saw your eyes roll. Okay. Okay. But okay, ACT.
You can be honest about that too.
If I want to be honest, I think the first time was a 17. Not good. I took the SAT as well because I really want to go out of state. True story as well. During the ACT, I almost used the restroom myself, so they had to let me go, and come back. Usually don't let you do that, and the other one I almost fell asleep, so I had to take it again. That was a true story. So, non-degree seeking, what is that? For my master's program, like I said, my road was pretty windy. Because of my, undergraduate grades, I had to show them that I could do the work, so I had to take, I want to say 2 or 3 classes of the master level programs to show them I could do the work. Got an A in I think all of them, maybe a B plus in one. Then they accepted me, but then they accepted me conditionally. So that means I had to maintain a 3.0, which in graduate school for me wasn't hard. So that was awesome. But then for my doctoral program, they accepted me conditionally for what reason, I don't know, because I had a 3.6 in graduate school. But anyway, I'm there now and I'm almost done with coursework next spring if I take 3 classes in the fall or in the summer. So that just goes to show you that, your journey might be a little bit longer than others, but I can look back now and I don't think I know anybody getting a PhD. Not saying that I'm better than them because they're killing it in their own field, but that didn't make me less, that it took me maybe an extra year. And I also did 5 years in undergrad. So once again, I got it together though, but sometimes people's journey is different. So don't beat yourself up if you don't graduate in 4 years and things like that. Okay. So what to do now? I didn't really know the demographic of all of you, but some of you might do Upward Bound. I did Lincoln Foundation. I don't know if that's still a big thing for you all if you did that. Also Black Achievers. I didn't do Black Achievers. I really didn't know anything about it, to be honest. You did Black Achievers. A lot of people in FSP, which I'll talk about in a second, did Black Achievers. So my middle school, I went to public school, kindergarten through 3rd, and then 4th through 8th, I got a scholarship. I went to a really rich private school, so a little bit disconnected in a sense. And then of course community service. So you may wonder how in the heck did I get into UK? I think some of my godfather knowing some people maybe, but honestly my community service, I was really involved with my church. I was that person that Wednesdays and Sundays, my grandmother was on the financial team, so my mom was as well, so we were always there. We went to mission trips, so I think that really helped me. And I played sports too, football and track. We had Hallelujah Night. Quick question, does anybody know what Hallelujah Night is? Anybody? No?
Wait, is it?
No.
Dealing with church.
No, hold on. Go ahead. No, you're not
So
dumb.
the same. No, there's a thing in my school, senior night on Halloween, but that's something different.
That's why I was like, I don't think I know what it is.
Nobody heard Hallelujah Night? Like, on Halloween, can I finish? On Halloween, like I said, like going trick or treating, you go to church and they have events and stuff.
Oh,
No.
it's not called that.
We call my bad. What did y'all call it? Y'all have it?
Trunk or treat.
But
Yeah,
y'all had something like
trunk or
this?
treat.
Okay, so maybe the word is different, but they had some on Halloween. Thank you. Y'all do it all the time.
His mom never let him go trick or treating.
Yes, I did. Yeah, she did.
Oh,
The last year, I lost my jacket because I stayed loose in my jacket. And that year, I had a green highlighter, go on a dark stick. I'll never forget. I was excited. She's like, "You're not going out." That was my last year. I think I was like 8 or 9, but it was probably the time anyway. But anyway, Hallelujah Night. And then getting involved. So, school, yearbook club, sports, church, etc. Get involved. I know for Trio, I can talk about that a little bit as well. If you're interested in U of L, I will talk about that later on if you want me to. But we're really big on involvement and engagement. For some of you that are in college now, just being in your dorm all the time, I mean, it's good to go to college, but there's no point. College is about networking, making friends that last hopefully a lifetime, and help you, get that money, because that networking gets you a job and then gets you the money in the career that you want to be in. And I'll talk about that as well. So, getting into college, grades and GPA, don't be like me. Please apply yourself now or as soon as possible. If you need assistance, ask for tutoring or anything, or look it up. You guys found this opportunity, which is great. There are other opportunities to help you during the summer. Research those during the summer. You lose a lot of that information. I'll be honest with you, when it comes to my classes in grad school, once I'm done, I'm done. Like, I don't even think about it no more. That's just me, but it's because I'm taking so many classes. I don't forget the information, but it's like, once it's over, you're like relieved, and you're like, what's next? So sometimes, having that this constant repetitive thing just to help you out. The application process. So for me, I don't know if I was in denial or just optimistic. So I applied to like Ohio State, Cincinnati, Georgia Tech, because I was into architecture, okay? That's what I wanted to be going into college, and they had some of the best programs. Application process, depending on the school, it can be really strenuous. I know Georgia Tech, it was like my English class in high school. It was really strenuous. UK, it was kind of like, what do you give to diversity? Why do you want to go to UK? 500 words or more, or 500 to 700 words. So it just depends on where you want to go, and you want to kind of get yourself prepared with that as well, preferably before going into your senior year. Letters of recommendation, that also that depends on the school. I know like Yale, Ivy Leagues, all schools it matters, but there's certain schools where it's like having an alumni, having someone that may be on a board really helps your chances and helps you better than the next person. I know the person who's over diversity at UK, my godfather's in the same fraternity as him, and he was at school and he was there. So I feel like that may have helped me as well. So personal statement and writing portion. So can you all tell me what's wrong with this slide? Do you see anything wrong with this slide? Any mistakes? Yes, ma'am.
It's, why is community service?
Right, what else?
Oh, colleges.
Okay, so you can be like, I did that on purpose. You can be like the best candidate, or whatever you say, it can be awesome, but the smallest detail, because it's like he didn't care, or he rushed, or he didn't put enough effort. Because when we have scholarships for Trio, which we have a lot, we have quite a few, I can really care less if you have a 3.8, you gotta have over 2.0. But if you have like a 2.5 compared to 3.8, if you got mistakes like this and you want money, it goes to showing that either you did it right before or you didn't care as much next to the person who had a 2.5. Because for me, I wasn't the smartest person, I also goofed around, but I had to do the small things or the little things right. Like make sure somebody proofread my stuff, which my youth minister did. She was an English major, so I had to make sure it was tight. So, sorry, whenever doing a personal statement and a writing portion, that's another area that you can really bypass somebody else, because your grades are locked. You can't change your grades, but you can make sure and have, because your grades you've already done that. You can't go back. But when it comes to your writing portion, personal statement, you can really excel or kind of just lose it. So just always remember that. The small mistakes, they're going to see it. And because some universities have so many applicants, they're looking for a reason to kind of throw you to the side. I know it sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, a university is a business. They have numbers. Yes, they do care about you, but at the top, it's 0 and 1, male or female, or yes or no. And then community service. So why do you think community service is important? Can somebody help me out with that? Yes.
To show that you're giving back and not just taking.
Okay. Yeah. Someone else?
It shows like another side of your character than just your intelligence or something like that.
Absolutely. So it kind of goes into like being well-rounded. For universities, the university is not going to function very well if they enroll students that don't have any community service. So basically, it looks like they won't be involved. The likelihood of them being involved is a lot less. So if you have a lot of students staying in their dorms, that means there's no RSOs or student organizations. So they're going to be really empty or really small. Tennessee State, Greek life, I know is completely different than U of L. I'm agreed. I'm an Alpha, I'm in a fraternity. I know at U of L, I went to UK though, but I know at U of L, the numbers are really small. And at a PWI for black students, I feel like Greeks kind of set the tone when it comes to parties, welcome week and things like that, orientation. And if they're not really up to par, you don't see as many. I'm not saying, it doesn't seem as connected when you go to Tennessee State. They got these plots that are as big as this room. Plots meaning like the fraternity and sororities have basically a plot where they can sit at, and it shows, it's like either a statue, a bench, or whatever it may be. And it just makes you feel more like inclusive, more welcome. And at PWIs, it's really hard when the Greek life is small, or when VSU is not really doing what they're supposed to be doing. Black student.
United Students.
Yeah, well,
We had VSU and bus and all that.
So NKU, I feel like they almost had too many, but I thought it was dope as well, because you had stuff just for black women, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have that at UK, and you are smaller than we are. So I just thought that was interesting, but that's why. And then another thing with community service is engagement. So the more the student is engaged, the more likely they'll have a good time at university. The more likely they'll give money back, which once again, it's about business. So, she was involved a lot. She's going to be involved a lot. She's probably going to have a great experience. She's probably want to give money back to help students have a good experience. Because they've got, maybe 5 to 6 positions, all about fundraising. And if you want to be in higher positions, you have to have fundraising skills skills, because you'll have that as a responsibility. So it's all about the money, honestly. So the summer before college, you guys are already doing something right now that's beneficial. Just do something that's beneficial that'll help you, especially with your resume as well. You're always building your resume. I will say, you can keep stuff from high school in your resume until about, depending on what it has to do with your job that you're trying to get, maybe freshman or sophomore year, because I've seen it. It's okay if you have it, but maybe because I never had it, but it's like when you're a junior in college, I don't think employers want to know that you had a 4.0 in high school, you graduated, and now you're in college. And people will put 4.0, this, and this about high school. That was 3 years ago, you know what I mean? So just be mindful of that. But FSP, so freshman summer program, that's what I did at UK, 6 weeks. It's kind of like Upward Bound, but just college students going in. Strictly, Upward Bound I think has 2 levels. And we took 2 classes that we got credit for. We got to go on trips. We had to do papers. It was pretty intense for me with papers because I hated doing English papers, but it was really good. It helped us to get to know how college is, and we were around, it was 50 of us. So, we had some friends starting off, which for some people like me, I wasn't around. Nobody from my high school went to UK that I hung out with. People went to Western. So me going to a private middle school, so I wasn't around black people. And then St. X, there's 5 in my class. None of them went to Kentucky. So now all of public school, I didn't know anybody. So everybody knows everybody. So that really helped me get friends to get started off. K-State has pre-college academy, which is the same thing with taking classes and being on campus. Of course, we talked about Upward Bound, doing an internship like you all are doing right now, or work. Just do something productive that you can put on your resume, so it shows later on employers or whomever that you're not just sitting down and relaxing. You can't be tired. You can't be tired yet, not this early in the game. And also opportunities depending on the university you'll be attending as well. When it comes to FSB being strictly for UK and a pre-college academy strictly for K-State. Anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
About up or down, because what I remember it was, because I was like a kid when I like was at it, because I think I was doing their like basketball sort of program. What did you like? What are you talking about when you're talking about up or down?
Okay, so I'm sorry. That is up. Okay, so Upward Bound. So I want to say there's 130 students at U of L's campus right now, and there's two types of Upward Bound. There's students who are about to go into college and students that are in high school. So they take classes as well just to get acclimated to either the university or just to be sharp. And Ms. Smith, would you like to add anything as what was your position again?
I was a resident counselor.
Okay, yeah. Was that spot on, or what else did you all do? Oh, they take trips too. They're going to DC, I think this week as well. But
They take college trips and they meet throughout the school year as well as the summer. The school year they do I believe homework help, and they have to meet every other Saturday, just to meet with their, advisors. And then the summer program is their big program where they're living on campus, getting the college experience before they get to college. So the thing that makes Upward Bound and some of these programs great, like FSP, is that they are exposing people, low-income students of color. They're exposing them early to college so that they understand what it's like to be in a college classroom. They understand what it's like to talk to a professor. They understand what it's like to handle monies and make monies and having to do something in order to get something back. So all of these programs that he is talking to you all about are very, very important to one's success. And not a lot of those are not even in high school. You can do that in college too, like FSP's first year of college at UK. Instead of Upward Bound in college, they just have SSS and Trio. They're all a part of the same program. And then eventually you'll do your internships, and then you'll work, and then volunteering and all that stuff.
And Upward Bound does have positions they hire. That Miss and FSP too if you're looking at UK. It looks really good on your resume because it's a supervisor role, and you getting those skills early really shows maturity, shows that you can handle a lot of things. Because I'm gonna tell you what, I was driving to work and I saw the students, they can't even cross the street. Just having them the high schoolers. I know some of you in high school, but maybe you're all the mature type, but they really were running across the street and traffic was coming, trying to be funny. So them seeing that on your resume that you can handle being around students and taking control really does help you. And those are transferable skills so you can use in any field that you're going into. So if not college, then what? I know there's I would say about the past 5 years or 10 years has been a push for trade schools. So plumbing, electrician, and things of that nature. Of course, you hear about Ford, UPS, and Postal Service. People say, I know you've heard school isn't for everybody. I'm still on the fence about that. It just depends. I say no, then I meet with a student or I hear a story. I'm like, maybe they weren't ready yet. But at the end of the day, you're going to need to have some type of training, which is school. So trade, school, and don't think of it as, some of these people being electricians and plumbers can make $50 an hour. Now, depending if they work for a company, how much comes out of that, and then you have taxes, but that's why you talk about an entrepreneurship. So start your own company. So go to business school. Doesn't necessarily have to be 4 years. Just make it an associate so you know what's going on. Start your own business so when you get $50 an hour, you can at least pocket, if it's more than half, if it was half, you can only pocket 25 because of the company you work for. Now it could be maybe $37 or $40 of that 50 because of other things as well. So just be thinking this, if college is not for you, if you want to take a break or, take that gap year, just make sure you're being productive during that time. And whatever you're doing, make sure it goes towards your goal. If you don't know your goal, just try to figure out what makes you happy, what can you wake up doing every day, and then go do an internship in that field and see what you want to do. And see if you want to do that. Because that's why you have to do internship classes in college. Because it's like, yeah, I really want to do this, especially med school students or teachers. Yeah, I really want to do this. They go in there, they're like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Because that money looks really good until you gotta cut somebody open and you gotta see somebody, I'm not gonna get into detail, but you see some crazy stuff. So, college, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If I'm wrong, let me know. You've been through it as well. So, the good for me, the first two to 3 weeks, or the first 3 weeks is what I meant to put. UK, our welcome week was off the chain, I'm not gonna lie. I loved UK. We had the world's largest water balloon fight. All the Greeks were out having fun. There's free food, free t-shirts. I was a free t-shirt guy. I had all the free t-shirts, point blank period. Meeting new people, so, I don't get in trouble. Going, coming from a private school with all white people, and then going to an all-boys school, getting to see, girls was a lot of fun. Being an adult. So I never forget the day my mom and her boyfriend at the time dropped me off at the dorm room. When they left, I was like, what am I about to do? And it's like, I can do whatever I want. I'll never forget that feeling, especially because I didn't do nothing in high school. I got to go over a friend's house a lot. Middle school, high school, my mom was having none of that. I don't think she trusted him. For real, she just didn't, I don't know. I guess because they were rich, they got access to things, she just didn't trust them. So I rarely went out, honestly. So overall freedom, parties, yes, a lot of fun. I know they're probably crazy at TSU. Greek life, definitely fun from the other side and being in it as well, and graduating. It's just, I'll be honest, high school, you guys like, oh, you excited? It's like, it was high school, but like college, when you gotta stay up 16 hours studying for a test, 3 a.m., that graduation is worth it. And somebody else needs to walk across that stage too, right? Okay.
Maybe.
Right. Y'all need to make her. She doesn't. So the bad, waking up for 8 a.m. classes. That wasn't that bad for me. I had a recitation for philosophy. So basically, recitation is just going over what the class was or having other assignments just to make the class, I guess, more solidified as being a real class. That's how I look at it. Toxic relationships and friendships. Okay. So, this is gonna happen. Your best friend freshman year, you may not even speak to him come sophomore, junior, or senior year. Or you just, things happen, people get jobs early on in college, move off campus, you really don't see them that much. But, when you see them, it's all love. It just happens. Just try not to harp on it like, oh, they beef with me. It's like, no, people are busy. For some of you that get scholarships that don't have to worry about it, that's awesome. Some people have to work 1 or 2 jobs. I have students, first generation, they have to stay at home with their parents and they have to work. So, you just may not see them. So just don't ever take that personally unless something really did happen. At the end of the day, I'll be honest, about 5% of the people who are in a relationship in college are married right now. Yeah, so don't, I was in, well, that doesn't matter, I'll get you. So failing a test, I did that enough, as you know, with my GPA that you heard. So your grades are not as easy to pick up as in high school. So I'll just pick up in the, what do you have, quarters? What did you guys have in high school? Terms, quarters, what did you guys have? Semesters, okay, I don't know what you want to call it. But it's not as easy to like, oh, my teacher just gave me extra credit. No. Some classes right now for some of my students, pre-med, 4 exams, that's it. So that 40 or 50, that might be a wrap.
You fail the first one, you're not getting better than a 75.
Yeah, and it's like,
And
oh,
it's
I can
only
get it up. This is not a
all
movie.
the rest
This
of
is not a movie. You're not gonna miraculously get some powers and get an 80 after you just got a 45. It's not, unless you really just didn't study and you just showed up. It's not gonna happen. However, I will say with pre-med classes, chemistry, biology, they curve a lot because they already know. I had a class, I had to take it 3 times. I hate that class. Physiology 412G, Park Sarge is her name. I don't hate her, I hate that class. At the beginning of the semester, the grade scale was regular grade scale. Oh, in college, a 90 and above is an A. By the end of the semester, an A was like a 50. That goes to show you that class is no joke.
A 50%. So they had to curve it that much
Yeah,
because people were failing.
failing, dropping like flies. Yeah.
Yeah, I took that class, exercise and physiology.
At TSU? Oh, yeah. It's terrible. I'm not gonna say that. It's terrible. But almost every major program has that one class, two classes that it's like, how am I get over? For me, it was econ, stats, and physiology. And then consequences of partying too much. You know, that we had I said Lincoln Foundation. Sorry, we had the William C. Parker Scholarship. They had the Porter at U of L. You know, people come in like, yeah, I got the Porter. You know, I went to this school. I mean, I got the William C. Parker. I went to this school. I got 40,000 that first semester. After that, you never see him again. It's very sad. So you're getting 40,000 to go to school, and then you partying so much, you out of here. So just keep in mind, parties are really always going to be there. They really are. And once you graduate, get that money, you can party however you want to. But right now, you just got to learn how to balance that. You have anything to say? College standpoint? Okay. So majoring in your boyfriend, girlfriend instead of a real major. It's especially as a boyfriend or girlfriend, y'all not married. So at the end of the day, they're gonna choose themselves over you. Point blank period. If they don't, y'all both a fool. For real. I get it. Like I really do get it. I think was it 3 years? I was in a relationship, 2.5. 2.5 in college and then went over. But no, don't be that person. Especially, it's gonna sound really bad. Especially if they're not on it. Like if your significant other's not on it and you're all about them, y'all just, it's toxic both ways because they're never studying. You always want to be around them and you're not going to study. It's not a good mix. The ugly, beefing with the roommate who was once your best friend. So that was the bad. I've seen it before. Seen it before. It's the saddest thing. Walk past each other. Don't talk to each other. None of that. Don't room with your best friend, please. Don't do it. Did you do it?
Absolutely agree. Yes, and we're not friends anymore, but not because of that. It's because of what she did.
While you're roommates? While you were roommates?
No.
Okay. But you've seen it.
Either way.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
I'm not gonna go as far and make the story better, like, oh, they got tattooed, but you would assume that some of these people, no lie, not gonna lie, mostly women, not gonna lie, but you would think that they got tatted on each other, best friends forever, and then one's moving out, like, man, what happened? Man, they got into it. It's like, what? So just don't do it. Don't do it. Like,
I agree.
yeah, God, oh my Lord, don't do it.
Or at least, well, I would think it's better if you all have your own rooms, but if you're sharing your room on top of being best friends, like.
When you're a freshman though, they finna give you the slums, so boy, unless you about to throw out that cash, so you about to be in the slums. Once again, ironically, my freshman year, I was in an all-boys dorm. So I was really getting tired of the whole thing, so all boys for like 5 years straight. It was annoying for me. But I mean, my roommate, actually he left and got another, he just went to a better one because he had the money. And that's cool with me.
Talk to us a little bit about dorms in general. Talk about dorms
Like
and
UL or UK?
any dorms. Are they the cleanest?
Oh,
So we had I was Hagen Hall, D Block, community. No, it wasn't community shower. Why I just lied? I did not. No. The showers, the curtains, it wasn't in our room. We had to walk down the hall. So imagine, and then we had a door that went outside. It wasn't a breezeway. So imagine, and I was right by the door. So you're taking a shower, and you're walking all the way down the hall, and somebody opened up the door in December, November. It's terrible. That's why you want to get your housing and all that in as early as possible. Once again, when it comes to your friends, oh, that's my girl, I'm just gonna wait on her. She's not your friend and she making you wait.
Right.
She's not. You gotta worry about, you know what, girl, just feel like, you know what, I got the best dorm. Hopefully you can too, but I put my name down late, but I'm gonna be there. And maybe, hopefully you can transfer, but I'm not about to wait on you and being in this trash dorm that has mold. I will not say the dorm at the university, but has mold. But honestly,
What about insects and stuff?
Roaches.
I mean, it's going to
normal.
happen. It's going to
Yeah,
happen.
yes.
You're going to see it in the dorm just because they're, you know, coming from outside. Just make sure you have your stuff tight. You'd be surprised. People are not raised like you.
Right.
So, like, I'm clean. Like, there's junky, and then there's like, you know, this terrible. Like, I may have my clean clothes out, just like on my desk, but they're clean. They're not dirty. If they're dirty, they're gonna be, you know, in something. People start leaving that food out, you're gonna start getting some friends. You're gonna have more than one roommate. And it's annoying, you laugh, but like people are not, so you think you know your best friend, but you know, staying all night at her house a few times, you know, going on a trip at a hotel a few times, that's nothing to you living like, what do they live like?
I'm so nervous.
Oh, you gotta, I mean, and you know what though, and it's randoms too, you don't know, I mean, these randoms as well, so.
Like random roommates.
I'm sorry, yeah, random roommates. I mean, it really is a crapshoot. That's probably the biggest thing you have no control over in college is your roommate and how that's gonna go. And just be prepared to have your RA on speed dial and be like, I'm moving. Or there's gonna be some furniture moving in here. Don't say that, but it usually, I mean, it can come to that because that's supposed to be your piece. But yeah, you know, roaches, of course, hygiene, that's a big thing I've seen. So in college as well, I had a lot of female friends, so, you know, hearing stories or seeing stuff is crazy. Once again, you would think people know what they're supposed to do, and they don't. Can you get your story again?
Do I need to pause the camera really quick?
So but you just gotta make sure. So of course, bad is you know, failing a test, failing a class. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen, but there's a likelihood that it could happen, a D or an F. Depending on your university, you have a certain amount of retakes. You really don't want to go past about 3 W's on your transcript. We had a speaker from.
What are W's?
I'm sorry, withdrawals. I apologize. I'm so used to talking to, so withdrawals and retakes, of course, retaking the class. So we had a representative from the med school from University of Louisville, and he just talked to some of our students about, you know, we expect to see a retake because it's med school. You're not supposed to breeze by these classes because, you know, you want to be competitive. So if you got a C, retake it, get an A or B, or if you got a D, and things of that nature. Just try, that's why it's important to just stay on top of your work early as a freshman, because those are gen eds. Nothing more aggravating than me, and we're talking about me, remember that. C in English, and you got a C in English. There should be no way you get a C in English. I'm not that good, I'm not even trying to hear it. Public speaking, had a student who failed that. And but it's just like, because to me, I tell my students, get the easy A, because you're gonna have enough hard classes. So when they throw you these softballs and it's like, oh, let me just take walking. Some people dropped walking classes or they didn't get an A and it's 1 credit. Even though it's 1 credit, it's walking class. You have a 1-page paper and you write in a journal and you walk. You know, because it can come back to haunt you. I had a student trying to get into grad school. She needed a 3.0 over her last 60 hours. Guess what she has? 2.99. And she kind of slacked off her last semester in the spring. And I told her she did before I even saw her grades. I'm like, you slacked off. She's like, I did. Now she's gonna have to take the GRE instead of not having to. So that's another $200 and hours spent trying to study. So just remember things like that. Definitely get those easy A's. Remember, summer is a little bit easier as well. They have TAs. They're not as hard, for my opinion. And lastly, academic teachers assistants. Sorry. So for me, I took econ 3 times. That was the other class I hated. Took it in the summer, got a B, but hey, whatever. But it was a lot easier. When I say a lot easier, I mean it was only probably about 20 of us in the class instead of 60 or 80. Usually they have a problem with hard classes. A lot of people say I don't want to go to school because the class is too big. That's honestly a few, unless it's like communications or specific chemistry classes, but it does get smaller over the years. But it was easier for me in the class. It was easier overall for that reason. And I got a B, thankfully, because I think I got a D twice in that month. That was hard. Academic probation, That is when you're under a 2.0. 2.0 is good academic standing, which is weird to me, but a 2.0, so that's straight Ds. That's in place, I think, for NCAA athletes. That's what they have to be as well to be eligible to play. So academic probation is when you're on your overall semester GPA is just not in good standing, but overall GPA is when you're under a 2.0. You can come back from a 1.8 one semester by retaking those classes and getting it together with the others. But constant, it's going to be an uphill battle, just so you know. So, now, any real questions for me? We can pause the camera. I am an open book. You can ask me anything, almost anything, as long as it doesn't get me in trouble with Ms. Smith as well.